Finally, I can come here and say this. Evgeni Malkin just re-signed with the Pittsburgh Penguins to a 4-year deal, 6.1 per season, and is pretty much retiring as a Penguin with Crosby Letang right next to him, just how I wanted. I'm all over the place right now. I'm an emotional roller coaster. These last couple of days have been just insane. And this one was the weirdest one because we thought we were going to lose Malkin. He said that he's going to test free agency, see what the teams are offering. So here we are, the day before free agency hits. And that whole day for me was very gloomy, depressing. The idea of seeing Malkin on another team, I wasn't ready for it. So many reports were coming out left and right, things like teams that were interested in Malkin's teams that he was interested in, just so many things that you're just looking and reading, and everything that I was reading looked like it was over. And now all of a sudden you're looking at potential replacements for Malkin. Trocheck's name came up, JT Miller via trade came up, Nazem Kadri was available, and just so many things you're reading, and each one I was reading, I was just getting even more depressed. And, the idea of Malkin going somewhere else just kept popping up, and I hated it so much. And then out of nowhere, the thing I least expected to see on my phone, 11 o'clock at night, the night before free agency, the Penguins official Twitter account tweets out, Gino is back. Everybody's absolutely losing it, including myself. I didn't believe it. Me and my brother had to double check many times to make sure it wasn't that Penguins account. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that famous Twitter account that just makes fake reports all the time. It's always near trade deadline day and free agency where they always say the most, crazy things, and everyone gets excited and happy. Then you read the name, it's not even the real thing, but we had to make sure. I saw the check mark, and then I saw everyone else starting to tweet it. I'm like, is this happening? Is this for real? And I even mentioned this on Twitter. It was very weirdly announced because everything that gets announced nowadays is coming from Elliot Friedman or any other reporter that's going to say, oh, I'm hearing Malkin staying in Pitt or whatever, hearing a 4-year deal is coming. So so when the news comes, you knew about it already. This was just me, Tuesday night, randomly on my phone, like every other night. And then what do you just see pop up is the Penguins tweeting that Malkin is back. It's like the last thing you expected to see just hit you. How does that even happen? How do they keep it this quiet? Because about 6 or 7 hours before that, all the reporters were tweeting how Malkin was displeased with the Penguins and, he wanted to test his options, see what was out there. And then that same day, everyone, including the reporters, get blindsided because no one had the news until the Penguins official Twitter account. Like, when does that even happen where the Penguins official Twitter account announces and breaks a signing like this? The vibe I was getting, it looked like Malkin was actually annoyed at the team, at the management, and it looked like management was a bit annoyed at him for not taking their deals. They had to go a lot of back and forth, and Malkin was being a bit of a baby if the reports were true. It was a very poorly handled negotiation. Both sides were a bit in the wrong. Stahl was just negotiating. All GMs are going to negotiate. They're going to try their best to get the offer as low as possible. But it also didn't help that you're lowballing him in the term. You know what the guy wants. He was clear about what he wanted, and you're just lowballing him, and you're going out and you're telling the media that Letang is priority number one, and things like that definitely didn't help the situation. So the news definitely caught me off guard. But the guy we should all be thanking, and I wish I can literally just get access to his phone, his history, everything that he's done today, and that is Sidney Crosby, because I think he had a big part in this. I would have loved to hear what Crosby was telling both management and Malkin, because it looked like, honestly, there were two kids fighting and Crosby had to be the parent and force them to make up, because to me it looked like it was over. So the fact that I want to know, what did Crosby say? Because to me, that's so impressive. And let's speak about this contract. 4 years, $6.1 million. I love that. Of course, the years are too long, but who cares? He's staying. He's going to retire as a Penguin, and $6.1 million for this upcoming year is a great price for your second-line center. Malkin was 35 this year, overcame knee surgery, and still was point per game and on pace for like 40-something goals. Obviously, he's not Malkin of his prime anymore. Like, he has fallen off a bit, but the guy is still putting up numbers. I don't care if it's, just on the power play or he's not that good 5-on-5 anymore. The numbers are there. And I think going into this upcoming season, not having to deal with no surgery or coming in mid-season, he's going to get a full training camp. I do think even though he'll be 36, he'll still have, I think, a great upcoming year without those distractions in the way. And that's where I have to give a huge credit to Ron Hextall, because a lot of people gave up on him without even giving him a fair chance. I was myself even on the fence with him, like, is this the guy I want running the team? Like, I was 50-50 with it. And in the almost 2 years that he's been here, he's made his fair share of, solid moves. He's had a few questionable moves, but this upcoming free agency was his biggest test as a Penguins GM, and probably the biggest test he'll have until he's fired. Like, I doubt he's gonna have a bigger challenge than this. And he didn't just do okay. He didn't just do good. He did incredible. A+ home run. All he realistically has to do left is try and move one defenseman with the big cap hit, either a Dumoulin, Marino, Pedersen. Especially earlier today, he re-signed Pierre-Olivier Joseph to a 2-year, one-way deal. So he's most likely gonna play in the NHL next year. Move one of those defensemen, save the $4 million, maybe re-sign Kapanen, look in free agency for another middle six winger, and after that, that's an A+ offseason for me. But essentially, the hard part of the offseason is done. So everyone can breathe now. It's done. Everyone's coming back. And to me, that's the most important thing. And I have to say this because it's very important to me because, there's always the people that aren't going to like it or, are angry at something. I saw a few tweets saying, oh, have fun with Malkin's contract in a year, whatever, or, watch him slow down or this and that. And it's like, for a second, please just be a fan for a second, because that's all we are. There's a time and place to be like that, but there's also another time where you just gotta be a fan and be happy. Because if you're a Penguins fan right now, I expect 100% of you guys to just be happy. We invested almost 2 decades, and by the time these deals are done, it will be fully 2 decades with these guys here, and they brought us so much success, so many great memories. Why would you want this to end? If you're a truly, a hardcore Penguins fan, why would you want to see Malkin on a Red Wings uniform or Rangers or whoever he was gonna go to? It's a big day for us Penguins fans. Like, we get to keep our trio together. This is probably going to go down as one of, if not the greatest trio in history for just take everything into account. Success, longevity, everything. Malkin was 19 games away from playing his 1,000th NHL game. And I tweeted that Crosby's 1,000th game was such a special moment for me as a fan. And the fact that we had Malkin, Letang right next to Crosby throughout that whole ceremony, watching those videos, I felt a way that I never really felt. It was such a weird feeling. And I'll always remember Crosby's 1,000th game. And I wanted to have that same moment with Evgeni Malkin, and watching him get it playing again with a Red Wings or a Rangers. Like, I don't want to see that at all. So the fact that I will get that moment next year with the Penguins and with Crosby, Letang being right next to him means the world to me. Again, as a fan of the team, winning is important, but also keeping these guys was just as important because we've won. We've seen the championships. We've seen all that stuff. So part 1 was completed. Like, how much more can you win? Of course, I would love to win more cups, but, it's been done. So now part 2 is watching them finish their careers here. So even if this means they will never win a cup again, they all fall off next year and all suck and even miss the playoffs. It'll suck. I'll be devastated, but I get to watch Crosby, Malkin, Letang retire as Penguins because the championships were already won. They did everything you can hope for and way more. So now all you can do is just enjoy what they have left in the tank, and we get to watch it all with Penguins uniforms. But anyways, that's it for me. A very stressful last couple of days. Honestly, it was a very stressful year, but these last couple of days really, picked up, with free agency being right around the corner. Anything Ron Hextall does from here is a bonus. The hard part of the free agency is done. He's only going to add maybe a player or two, and when he does, I'll be here with the video. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Give me your thoughts on this great contract and how you're feeling with the core staying here and pretty much retiring here. How much does that mean to you? And thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.